are. Yeah, so let's test that, like live test it to see how long that
We
battery
will.
will last.
I've got it all the way down on the lowest screen brightness. So it says it's going to last
All right.
18 minutes.
18 minutes, good.
That's what it
Good thing
says
this is
we
a half-hour
got.
show.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to Close to the Metal. This is our weekly show where we sit here and talk about in-depth issues going on with computers, or we give you guides, or we talk about the new GPUs, whatever's going on. We kind of focus on one topic, and that's what we're doing here today. We are going to be talking about Kaby Lake, the new 7th-Gen Intel Core processor, if I said that correctly. Okay, I'm going to assume
You got
I did.
it, yeah.
All right, sweet.
You got
I'll just
all those
pretend like
words
I
in
did.
the correct order?
Good, perfect. And then we're going to kind of give you a guide about laptops coming up for this holiday season because, you know, we all want to get new laptops. Is it the right time to buy? What's different this year? What can you expect? So I'm Greg Nibbler, and here with Matt Smith, and we want to take your questions as we're going through this too. So if you're watching live on YouTube, we do the show, you know, if you're listening via podcast, we do the show live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Go ahead and put your questions in there. I'm going to kind of monitor that as we go through. I'll get those in. We'll ask Matt. I probably won't be able to answer them for you, although maybe I can. I don't know.
You can give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot, and then Matt can correct me. So wrong. That's wrong. All right. So let's start off here and talk about Kaby Lake. Kaby Lake, the newest processor from Intel. What do we know about this? What is Kaby Lake? Let's kind of give like a brief.
It's very scenic. If you want to go out for a camping trip for a few days, I recommend.
Yeah.
If you get any reservations.
I was telling Nick earlier, I think I went water skiing there. The
7th-Gen Intel Core processor, codenamed Kaby Lake. If you're in the know, that's what if you want to just like let people know you know about computers, you can just be like. Don't be like, I got 7th-Gen Intel Core. Just be like, yeah, so I got my new Kaby Lake in. And then they'll be like, what are you talking about? And then you can.
Is this like Area 51 or something?
You can drop some knowledge on them. So yeah, basically, it was debuted at IFA. I was like, well, actually, no, it wasn't debuted at IFA. It was debuted kind of like in coincidence with IFA, but not actually at the show.
So it wasn't at IFA in Berlin.
It was like,
but it debuted
while the
at
show
the same
was going
time.
on. They just weren't actually there.
Okay. It's an odd time to do that.
Yeah. So. It's going to be showing up, in some laptops coming up over this holiday season.
So it's not in anything right now.
It is.
It is.
A few things.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that's on the list. So we'll get to that. But just the more backstory of Kaby Lake, just so we know what this is. So it's the new improvement that's come out. What was it before?
So goes from 6th to 7th gen as you would expect, and it's basically the same architecture. So this is an architectural update.
Okay.
And it means there's going to be some tweaks, some improvements. It's not all new, but I mean that's kind of typical for Intel at this point. Like they've been iterating on this architecture for a very long period of time.
Gotcha.
So just a lot of improvements across the board, performance boost, and what have you. So.
Okay, so definitely an improvement, and this isn't part of the. Not to go too in depth to this, but this is leaving the TikTok model,
right,
which is what their previous model was.
So, the whole thing with the TikTok was that for a long time, about 8 years, Intel would come out with they would do a architectural update, like a major architectural update. And then
like
they would do a much more minor architectural update and then do the shrinking on the process side of how they built it. And the idea was that, it's hard to build a new processor architecture. It's hard to produce them. So let's not do both at once. Let's do one and then the other and then one and then the other.
And then you have a new product every year.
Right. But the problem is... And we kind of touched on this last podcast when we talked about the video cards and how hard it is to build them. It's gotten so hard to produce new chips that Intel has missed, their shrinking. They should have shrunk the production process down to a smaller node, which would increase the efficiency.
Does that make for a physically smaller product? Okay.
Yeah, it can. It gets a little complex because sometimes when they can make the transistors smaller, they'll just pack on more.
Okay.
So many more that it will make it actually a physically larger chip by a small amount. But anyway, But yeah, so basically they missed that shrink of the transistors. So the 7th generation Intel Core is just a minor architectural update, which is a smaller jump than what you might have expected from their past schedule.
Okay, so it's the iPhone 6 to 7. It's not the iPhone 8.
Well, I would take dispute with that because the iPhone 7 is actually substantially quicker than the.
I forgot. I forgot you're an Apple fan. Never mind. Okay, my bad on that one. All right, so, but it is an improvement, just minor.
Yeah,
minor improvement. So this is something that we're going to be able to start seeing in laptops coming soon. But let's talk about this more. So how fast is it actually, this Kaby Lake?
Yeah. So we've had the opportunity to take a look at the Core i7 7500U.
Okay.
And this is like their top end dual core chip. This is like if you're getting the most expensive laptop in the line of laptops you're looking at, you're probably going to end up with this particular processor. And we can't say the laptop that we tested in right this moment because that laptop is under embargo, but
all right,
the processor itself is not. So basically what we found was that it's about 15% quicker in the multi-core tests.
I mean, that's pretty substantial, isn't it?
Than the previous generation. And this is comparing it to a previous generation Core i7. So not like a Core i5 or it's something. It's basically as apples to apples across the product line as you could get it.
Okay.
And you know, and that could go up in some of our tests closer to 20%. So that's, you know, there's a lot of different perspectives as far as like what performance boost should be. We talked about the video cards. In some cases, on a GTX 9080 to a 1080, you're getting like 50, 60, 70% improvements. The new iPhone is like 50, 60% quicker than the old one.
Okay.
So like from that perspective, this isn't like a whopper. It's not like 20%. You know, but you know it's a big enough improvement that you do see it, you know, on the benchmarks. Now, I wouldn't say that you're going to see it in day-to-day use if you're just opening Google Chrome, like you know, like it probably opens quickly enough already, so you're not going to be like, oh, Google Chrome, look at it, it's so quick,
it's so fast.
But you know, if and this is one of the tests where we saw a big improvement was encoding video. Like, so if you got any sort of video, maybe, you know, you want to put it into a different format, or maybe you've just got some videos, some home videos on your phone or whatever, you know, you want to like do a few effects to them, you know, fancy them up a bit. You know, if you're doing something like that, it was substantially quicker, up to 20%, doing that in Handbrake, which is software for encoding video the different formats. So
all right, that's pretty cool.
So that's big because on that sort of, if you're doing like a 4K video, which is what we do in our test, doing that on a laptop, even if it's short, you know, like a 5-minute clip, can take 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's really taxing on the system.
So when you get a 20% increase in performance, well, when you're doing that, when you're opening Google Chrome, who cares?
Right.
When you're taking a video that's, you know, would take you 20 minutes to encode, and then you shave 20% off of that time, let's say.
If you're doing that all day,
then you start to notice that.
Yeah.
You know, you say, hey, actually, that new system is quite a bit quicker than my old one.
Quick note here in the comments. I'm seeing this from Abdullah. He said, at first I had thought Kaby Lake simply added the better video and USB 3.1, but sure enough, the performance is also there.
Yeah, the performance is better, and as far as video goes, that's actually one area they didn't improve really.
Really,
like the video, the execution units for the video, the integrated graphics is pretty much like the same. Like they said this, Intel said this in the briefings. They were like, yeah, it's basically like we didn't really do anything major there. So. And indeed, we saw that in our performance test. You know, the integrated graphics in 7th-Gen Intel Core seems to perform just like it did in 6th-Gen.
Okay, so
Which is
no
to say, not
improvement
terribly
there.
well.
Yeah, why not make an improvement in that? I mean, a lot of reasons, I suppose, but I mean, is there?
I don't know. Maybe they just didn't have the time or the space on the chip. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
But the one thing they did improve was they put in some hardware decode stuff for 4K. Well, not just 4K, but just video in general. And that actually comes around to battery life.
Okay.
Because that, in certain scenarios, can improve the battery life by a fair bit.
All right, that's good then. How much, any kind of percentage-wise that you can see, or?
Well, that's harder to say, like, percentage-wise, because we've tested it with this one laptop, right? And battery size, there's a lot more variables.
Okay.
To make that comparison as opposed to performance. But the laptop we did test was lasting over 10 hours on video, which is quite good, and didn't have a particularly large battery. And that just comes down to having these hardware decode units that are in the chip. Basically, it's just like it's custom hardware in the chip specifically designed for running the video, and that makes it way more efficient than when you have software doing it on the general CPU itself. It's
Okay.
just a less efficient way of doing it. So that is helpful. It's nice to have.
Okay.
And the laptop's almost dead.
Yeah, no, and your
the
laptop's
MacBook-
dying as we're doing this right now.
The MacBook Air is not holding out so well.
Well, just to kind of recap where we're at right now, too, if you're just tuning in. So we're talking about Kaby Lake, the 7th-Gen core processor from Intel, and kind of the advantages of that. And we're going to start seeing that in some more laptops coming up for this holiday season. And we want to get your questions. We're going to kind of give a guide on what you can buy, what's out there right now. And we do want to take your questions. Go ahead and pop those in there. I see some coming in, so I'll get to those here in just a second. Let's see. Oh, well, maybe there is one here. I want to ask, what's the major difference between the Skylake i7 and the new Kaby Lake i7 in laptops like Alienware and MSI? Is that something we should ask later, or do you want to get that now?
No, that's fine. And
okay.
the main difference is it's just a little bit quicker.
Okay.
And it has the hardware decode for video, so if you're watching video, the battery will last longer. And that's, pretty much the long and short of it.
Okay. So it's better.
Yeah.
That's the
it's
bottom
just
line.
faster.
It's faster. Okay. Well, let's talk about where we're going to see this. If you want to go on to that, like
Sure.
what laptops are we going to see this in? How soon are these going to be rolling out? What's on the market right now?
I know that you can. The Dell XPS 13 is getting into availability. And there are a few other units that are getting into availability. But yeah, like this is a rollout that's gradual. Now, Intel said that they have 100 design wins ready to go, before the holiday season is over.
100 what now?
Design wins. And so this is the term that a company like Intel used when basically they're saying how many systems out there are going to have this.
So this could be a.
So they call them design wins.
Okay.
So basically means
I wouldn't even ask why it's called design wins, but
they expect to have 100 laptops with the chip in it, which sounds like a lot, but there's a lot of laptops on the market. So this actually means that it's more likely than not that a laptop you're looking at will not have the upgrade. So most laptops will not have the upgrade by the end of the year. You're going to see them roll out mostly in the high-end units as well. So you might expect that, like the laptops that are expensive, that are over $1,000, those are going to get the upgrade first.
Okay. So it's going to be each manufacturer is probably going to have a couple of high-end laptops.
Yeah, so like the Dell XPS 13 was very quickly announced as they're starting to get the units out. That's like one of Dell's biggest sellers, one of their best laptops. And that's just going to be the trend. If you are looking at a $600 laptop, you're probably not going to find 7th-Gen for a while.
Okay.
I would expect.
Do they have any idea on the rollout for the lower-end ones, or is this who knows?
That's probably more a who knows thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the chips are out there, they're announced, they're debuted. They just, they've
got their own
they're getting siphoned to the high end units, and until, more and more production capacity comes online, which is a gradual thing. Yeah.
So it's just going to be in laptops?
It's just going to be in laptops, and it's just going to be in more portable laptops.
Okay. So no desktops.
Yeah,
We'll
so Intel's announcement was only for a small section of dual-core chips. So they came out with this. They said, hey, we got 7th generation Intel Core, and here's what we're launching with. And it's, I don't know, it was like 8 processors or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's all dual-core mobile stuff. So that means there's not any mobile quad-core stuff that's debuted. There's not any desktop stuff that's debuted. So, like, you have bigger laptops that would have a quad-core processor. It's not coming before the end of the year. It's not happening. Sorry.
Yeah. Why is that? Is there any kind of reasoning behind that they would?
Again, it's the production.
Okay. Just a production issue as far as.
I think if you want to get into the why, I think the reason is that it's easier to get good yields on dual core chips than quad core chips because there's less cores there, less to go wrong. So also, I think Intel's profit margins are pretty dang good on the mobile dual core stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they like to get that out first.
Gotcha.
Make the most money as possible from their early production. It's a lot of businessy stuff and technical stuff as to why this happens. But this is
marketing less than a technical.
Probably it's a little bit both.
Okay.
But this is kind of typical, actually. Like, this seems to be the way Intel's been doing it lately. Like, a lot of times, the last few launches, they'll come out with the dual core mobile stuff first, and then later on, they'll do the quad cores and the desktops, like, a few months later. So there is a big trade show in January. You might have heard of it. It's called CES.
I'm familiar, but okay.
So Intel might, you might expect Intel to make some announcements at that show about that sort of stuff.
Okay. Right.
It would be absolutely shocking if they were like, no, we don't have anything.
No, we don't have anything, but
Yeah, so
check out this. Okay, cool. Okay, so just kind of getting into that. So we're finding out what it's going to be in. So definitely the top end laptops are probably where we're going to see this, where we're going to see Kaby Lake coming up for this holiday season, at least for right now, for the foreseeable future. And again, we do want to get your questions. So if you have questions about your laptops or about Kaby Lake, go ahead and drop those in there, and we'll get through to those. So the best ones will be getting it. The mid-level ones won't be. So which ones? Let's get into the actual laptops themselves, like of what's available now, as far as what you would recommend or ones you want to talk about that are out there right now.
Well, the two that are probably going to be big on everyone's radar are the XPS 13 and also Lenovo's Yoga 910S. Mm-hmm. And we saw that at IFA.
Right.
And let me just see if Dell actually has the XPS 13 with 7th-Gen available right now.
Okay, so that's their new one that's just going to be coming out.
Yeah, so we always talk about that one because the XPS 13 won our Editor's Choice Award. It's our recommendation for best laptop. Basically, if you're getting a laptop, we pretty much just say start at the XPS 13 and then go from there.
Okay.
Because it's such a good system. It has great battery life. It looks really nice. It's not very large for the size of the screen. It's a 13-inch screen, so all that good stuff. And looks like Dell's website is not saying they have any 7th-Gen available right now, although it's being a little funky. But yeah, when that does come out, you should be able to grab that this month. It's going to be, it's going to look the same as before, but it is going to have the new processor. And yet again, Dell is slightly upgrading the battery size.
Okay.
So they did that last time because the XPS 13 has been around since like the 5th generation of Intel Core. But with the upgrades to the Intel hardware, they've also been slightly upgrading the battery. So it's going to be up to 60 watt hours now, which is fantastic for a 13-inch system.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should get some very good battery life out of that.
Okay, so and that's the Dell.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Another system that we are expecting to come out soon is the Asus ZenBook 3. So that should be on its way, and that's kind of a MacBook competitor.
Really?
Yeah. So, I believe it's a little bit thinner than the MacBook, a little bit thinner, but it's going to have faster hardware and more up to date hardware. So.
And this is the Asus ZenBook 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And when is that going to be available?
I'm not certain when
this holiday
I'm not
season?
sure exactly when it's going to be on store shelves,
Okay.
but should be soon.
Okay.
Should be soon.
Okay. That's definitely interesting. So another question here that we've got. So when you're buying a computer and you see i5 and i7 options, why doesn't Intel differentiate more between those generations in their marketing? From the sixth and the 7th generation.
Oh,
For theirs, because you see that on the other ones. Excuse me, sorry.
yeah, between the 6th and the 7th
Yeah.
gen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that they do some differentiation on it, but because I've seen some labels, they'll say like 7th gen core on them. I think it's like kind of up in the upper left.
Right. You would think if they're making this big improvement that they would want to.
Yeah, but they also, I think, don't want to confuse people.
Yeah.
Like
that's it?
Every like little addition they do, like when Core M came out, they had said, "Oh, look, we've got this new processor that's like so much more efficient," and but it also was like, okay, now they had Core M3, M5, M7. How did these compare to the other ones?
Yeah.
They also had a generational thing with that. So people had to keep track of the generations, and I don't think people liked it. People weren't really buying it. Like they didn't know what to buy. So I think Intel probably just likes to have people in their head that they want a Core i5 or a Core i7, and they go buy that.
Keep it real simple.
And maybe it's 6th gen, maybe it's 7th gen, but that's for the average person.
Right.
Like that's probably.
Don't let the engineers talk to the customers kind of deal.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of that probably.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, so if you're looking to buy a laptop, you're looking to get one, coming up, which I might be looking to get one myself, and I probably would want to go on a high end, something that's going to last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
What kind of deals do you think are out there?
You probably are going to see some pretty good deals over this holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've already said 7th gen is quicker than the 6th gen.
Yeah, 7th gen is.
And you're probably not going to see a lot of big deals on the newer models. You might see some.
Okay.
But the 7th generation ones are not going to be as likely to be discounted. So with that said, we probably are going to see some decent deals on some of the 6th generation stuff.
Okay.
That's
like
starting
high-end
to
6th
go
gen?
out of stock. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not going to be anything that's going to set your hair on fire probably, but considering the performance difference between them, if you've got a 25% discount or 30% discount on something, then that's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're not really sacrificing that much. That's especially true if you're just like someone that's going to use your laptop for basic laptop things.
Right.
You're going to browse the web. You're going to maybe edit a few photos, maybe, play League of Legends, but whatever, that kind of stuff. It doesn't really matter that much.
Going from the 6th to 7th?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're going out on like Black Friday or something, and you're seeing, some nice deals on Intel 6th generation powered systems, like that's totally something that you could go for.
Because the improvement is not that much in that kind of day-to-day activity.
Because the improvement is not that much in day-to-day activity. The improvement in battery life and a lot of activity that's not video watching is going to be kind of minimal. The graphics has not changed. So, like the 7th generation is better, but if you see one of those deals, this is definitely one of those situations where you would want to jump on it. And with it coinciding with the holiday season, like I feel like this is going to be a pretty good time to buy a laptop.
So if you've been thinking about doing the upgrade, if you're thinking about getting a new laptop, this is going to be the right time to do that.
Yeah, even if you don't get the latest hardware, if you end up with the 6th generation, like that's fine. That's totally fine. That laptop, is probably going to feel quick enough for your needs for 5 years, maybe more, especially if you get a solid state hard drive with it. So
that'd be your recommendation. Like get a 6th gen unless you really need just that little bit of speed if you're editing 4K.
Well, if you're getting a deal on it,
yeah.
if you're getting a deal on it, it's perfectly fine to get the older.
But go with a solid state drive.
Yeah, and a solid state drive is really important to go with that.
Okay.
And you see that on a lot of the newer mid-range and high-end laptops. So it's becoming, thankfully, more affordable than it used to be.
What else should you look out for if you're getting ready to buy one? So 6th gen is okay if you're getting a deal on it. You're not getting that much of improvement on the 7th. Solid state drive, definitely find that. Anything else somebody should look out for if they're, just kind of green going out looking to get a new laptop?
I mean, I would make sure that you're getting a 1080p display.
Okay.
On a lot of, that's something to watch out for in the holidays because sometimes there's always like that Black Friday deal. It's like laptop, $150.
Right.
Runs Windows 10. Whoa. And then you get there and it's like.
Browse the web.
You know, the screen has like 3 pixels and, it's basically the size of a suitcase. And you're like,
But it's only $150.
So get the 1080p display because you're going to get a lot more, I think, useful life out of that. At this point, anything that's not that is just going to make you weep when you actually start using it.
Okay.
Because we've gotten so used, especially with phones, having high-resolution displays, that, it's not fun. And also, if you can find out, like, what the battery life is, how big the battery is, try to do that.
Okay.
That can be kind of hard to find out, but that's where reviews.
Yeah, because that's not really advertised.
Yeah, that's where reviews, digitaltrends.com.
Digitaltrends.com, find out right there.
Reviews can be very helpful because, the battery is also going to be something that's going to really impact how much enjoyment you get out of your laptop over its life. You got to remember batteries are they never age. They don't age well. They're not a wine. Yeah, they're basically like milk or something. They just get worse and worse as they're set out on the counter, and that battery is going to get shorter and shorter throughout its life. So you want to get one with a big battery to start with.
Okay, these are good tips. So 1080p. If you're looking to buy a new laptop in this holiday season, whatever you would want to call it, in the next few months, and it's going to be a good time to buy because there'll be some good deals. 6th gen, okay to go with that. You don't have to have the Kaby Lake 7th gen. Solid state drive, 1080p. Look at the battery life, but go to digitaltrends.com. You can check out the reviews for the battery life.
Yeah.
Any other tips?
Well, just that. With all that being said, that's going to push you towards a slightly more expensive system than you might want to spend. Because I know a lot of people want to spend like $500 on a laptop.
Yeah.
And I get that. Like, people just don't have a lot of money to spend on this kind of stuff. But you got to think about the computer you're getting is something that more than any other of these like personal electronic devices, it's something that's going to last. You get in that new iPhone 7, you might be able to stretch that to 5 years.
Yeah, but
it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. If you get a smartwatch or I don't know, fitness band or whatever other doohickey, it's probably going to last 3 years tops. Your laptops are something that are going to last a long time. You're going to be spending a lot of time looking at that thing. So make sure you like it.
Yeah.
Because if you get the worst model to save $100 or $150 or something, you are definitely going to be regretting it.
Yeah, over that lifespan.
3 years from now, when it's just a hunk of junk.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people get locked in that cycle. They, you buy a really cheap laptop, and then you end up hating it, so you buy another one every, 2 years.
Whereas you could have had the higher end one that lasts for longer, and that's what somebody's bringing up prices in here. Just going back to the 7th gen, if it's 15% faster, will it be 15% more expensive? It's probably hard to say because I don't think they've come out onto the market yet. Just it will be more expensive. I think that's safe to say.
So I'll put it this way: the manufacturers are not increasing their MSRP of their base MSRP for the 7th generation. So the Dell XPS 13 is not 50% more than it used to be.
Okay.
It's pretty much they're the same prices.
It's just the high end, and that's what it is. So
it's more like you're going to see discounts on the older stuff.
Okay. All right. So that's actually better.
Increases on the new stuff.
Okay. All right. So that's why these 6th gen ones are good to take a look at.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else that you want to give? Any other advice that you want to on handout before we wrap up the show?
No, I think
Just about buying a new
that
laptop.
about covers it. You know,
Okay.
it's going to be a good season, I think, for buying a laptop. So if you've got one that's hanging on, I would just recommend maybe waiting, a month or so from now, so you start seeing those holiday deals really start to crank out, and you start to see the new models start to hit store shelves.
Okay, so wait sometime mid-November. That's
Yeah.
that's when you should start looking.
Yeah, probably around there.
All right. Well, this is some great stuff. So if you're just tuning in on the YouTube channel right now, go ahead and go back and you can watch the beginning of the show where we go in detail with Kaby Lake and all the other details with the 7th-Gen, and then as we get into talking about the laptops, you can watch the show through there. Go ahead and put your questions on there too, because we'll get to those after the show. We can always answer some questions, but there's a lot of detail at digitaltrends.com. That you can go in and read reviews. If there's a specific laptop you're thinking about, I'm sure there's a review on there, and more are coming out, every day. So you can always check up on there. And like I said, this is Close to the Metal, so we do the show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, live, and then it's available as a podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, wherever you find podcasts. You can find the audio version there, so go ahead and subscribe to that too. That'd be great. If you have any questions, any detailed questions you want to send, you can always email podcast@digitaltrends.com, and we'll get back to you on those. Or if you have suggestions for a show, maybe you want to hear about something specific, that's kind of what we do on this. We really go into something specific, specific topics. And you can go back and take a look at some of the previous episodes and see that too. So I think that's it for today, and thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another episode.